Hello everyone. In this session, I will show you how to use Ubuntu in Docker. So basically, when we want to run Linux programs on Windows or Mac operating system, we have a problem. What is that problem? These operating systems do not support Linux commands, nor the system calls of the Linux directly. So to solve this, we have two options. The first option is called as virtual machine, and the second option is called as Docker. So what do we mean by a virtual machine? Virtual machine is like running a second computer inside your main computer. So it has its own operating system, which is separate from our main operating system. But virtual machines have some problems. They're very slow because they need to run a full operating system. They use a lot of RAM, they use a lot of CPU, and setting up and sharing a virtual machine is also very difficult. So that is the reason Docker is better to run the Linux programs. So because it can run on, Docker can be used on any operating system. So instead of creating a full second computer, Docker will create a very lightweight container that will share your main system resources only. So it is not going to create a complete new operating system. Okay, and it is not going to take all your resources, nor it will put a lot of load on your system or on your CPU. So basically it is very fast. You need not, no need to boot your full operating system. It uses very less memory. So it runs only whatever it is needed. It is easy to use also. Just by simple commands to start and stop, you can use Docker. And the most important thing is it is consistent. That means it works the same way on any computer. So that is the reason we will be using Docker to run our Linux commands. So now let us see how to install and use Ubuntu inside the Docker. So for that, whatever screen you are seeing right now is the Docker desktop, right? So first thing what you have to do is you have to open your PowerShell in administration mode. If you are using any other operating system, use the terminal in administration mode. Okay. So I basically have Windows terminal here. That is the reason you can see the tab options. If you are using a normal Windows PowerShell, you will not have this tab option, but still open it in administration mode and use it, right? So first what we will be doing is we will be downloading the Ubuntu image here. So before that, let me show you the Docker version. So I'll say Docker -- version. You can see that Docker is successfully installed. The next step we have to do is Docker pull Ubuntu. So what is this command? This command is telling my Docker to download the Ubuntu for me. Okay, you are downloading the image. Image is nothing but a setup file. So let me tell you exactly what do we mean by a image. So image is basically like a blueprint. See, just like how before we are building any house, we create a blueprint which tells you all the instructions that are needed to build that particular thing. In the same way, Ubuntu image will contain everything that is needed to set up a Ubuntu operating system inside the Docker. But it is just a plan. Okay, it does not allow you to use it yet. It is only a plan. Yes, that is called as image. So once now we have to type enter. So what this command is actually doing is it is going to Docker Hub. So inside Docker Hub, you will be having predefined images or the images that are stored by some other people, some other developers and all. From there, it will pull whatever image you have asked for, right? Latest in the sense, the latest version of that particular image will be pulled. So once this is pulled, the next thing we have to do is to create and enter into the Ubuntu. So up till now we have only created the blueprint. Image is nothing but a blueprint. So using that blueprint, we have to actually construct a house and enter into that house. So for that, what we have to do, you have to say docker run -it and you have to say Ubuntu. -it in the sense, it is called as interactive mode. Okay, so we are running the Ubuntu in interactive mode so that we can type commands inside it, right? So now let me tell you what exactly happens here. So when you type this particular command, you are running the Ubuntu inside the Docker container. Now what do you mean by a container? Container is basically like building a house from the blueprint and entering into the house. so that after entering you can do whatever changes you want. So when we say docker run -it ubuntu, we are actually creating a container from the ubuntu image, and now we can use this particular ubuntu as a real operating system only, right? So when I type enter here, you can see directly I am into this ubuntu terminal. I hope you are understanding. Now what is happening is, whatever this Ubuntu that I have started now, the operating system, this Ubuntu operating system is now empty. It doesn't have any tools with it. So what we have to do is we have to install the basic tools that are needed for our programs to get executed. So since we are running Linux programs, Linux system calls in C programming, the two things that we need is one editor to write our program, and then we need GCC to compile our programs. So before that, what we will do is we will be writing apt update. So the first command inside Ubuntu we'll be using is apt update, apt space update. So what does this actually do is it will update the packages list in the Ubuntu operating system, right? So from that packages list, after that is being installed, we will now download and install the GCC as well as the Nano. So depending upon the network speed, it takes some time to install. So we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for the packages to get updated. So once the packages are ready, we can now directly install the GCC. And I basically use Nano. So what I will do is I'll say apt space install -y GCC and Nano. Directly you can install both of them, as you can see here. So what am I trying to do here is I'm trying to install GCC and Nano, right? So you can use any editor of your choice. I am using Nano to write my programs. You can use Vim, VI editor, whichever is convenient for you. I generally have a habit of writing programs in Nano, so I am installing GCC and Nano here. So it takes little bit of time to install all of this. So now we can see that GCC and Nano are successfully installed. So what I will do is I will basically uh, create a very sample program to show you how to create programs, run them, and save the data that we have done. Okay, so for that, what I will do is first I will create a directory like mkdir linux programs. This is what I will do. See, it's not mandatory that you have to create a folder, but I have a habit of creating a folder so that I can put all the files inside that single folder. So when I type ls, you can see that the Linux programs is now successfully created here. So I will say nano space add.c. So I'm creating a very basic .c file called as add.c using nano. So this is the editor of the Nano. So you can start typing programs here. So I say hash include stdio.h, and then I say int main, and then I say int a equal to 10 comma b equal to 10, and then I say printf sum is equal to %d /n, and then say a plus b. So I'm just trying to print it, and then I say return 0. Okay, a very basic C program that I have written here. Now to save this program, you have to type Control plus O, and then type enter. And to come out, type Control plus X. So you came out here, right? Now let me just compile this program. So I say GCC add.c. So there are no errors. Let me run this program ./a.out. So you can see sum is equal to 20. Now when I type ls here, you can see the Linux programs. Go into it. So I say, yeah, I think we have created add.c outside this Linux programs only. Okay, it's okay. So you can see that add.c is now created here. So you can create it into this Linux programs only. So let me just move these files first. So I say mv space add.c and a.out into Linux programs. So when I say ls, they have been moved. When I go into this Linux programs and type ls here, I have these files. Okay, so we have done so many modifications in this Ubuntu operating system now. So the next thing what we have to do is we have to save the changes. So to save the changes, what we have to do is we have to open a new tab here. Now say suppose you're not having a tab. So what you do, you open one more PowerShell in administration mode. Let the original one be as it is. Open a new one. So here what you have to do is you have to type docker ps. So docker ps is basically a command which will display you the currently running containers inside the Docker. So as you can see, my Ubuntu is currently running. So what you have to do first is you have to copy this container ID. After copying the container ID, you have to say docker commit. Okay, paste this particular ID. Okay, and give a new name to your container. So I can say like uh, Linux Ubuntu. I have given it a name called as Linux. See, you can put it as Ubuntu only. But every time you try to pull a new Ubuntu image, your data will be lost. So better you give a new name. So I have given it as Linux Ubuntu. You can give any name of your choice. So commit basically what it does is whatever changes you have done inside that particular container, every change will be saved. And this is called as the hash code, which tells you that the changes are made successful. Right? So after this is completed, what you can do is you can go back here to the original prompt and you can simply say exit. So when you say exit, you are out of the Ubuntu operating system. You came out. And now if I say, type docker ps here, you can see that no container is running. So you came out of the container, right? So if you want to see if your image is there, you can say docker images. When you type docker images here, you can see Linux Ubuntu images created here. So next time if you want to reopen it and do any modifications, you can directly use this particular name. So what you can do here is you can say docker. Say suppose I want to check if all my changes are really there. So what I will say docker run -id and my image name is Linux Ubuntu. So I'll type Linux Ubuntu here. And now I will type ls. You can see my folder is successfully here. If I go into this folder, Linux programs, and I type ls, you can see my programs are there. So now say suppose you have added new programs today. Again you have to open a new terminal, right? See, what happens is every time you stop and start a container, the container ID will change. Previously the container ID was this. You cannot use the same container ID. See, if I say now docker ps, you can see that the container ID has been changed. So every time you stop and start a container ID will be changed. So before committing, make sure that you are copying the latest container ID and committing it. Okay, so this is how you have to install Ubuntu and start using the Linux commands. Hope you understood. Practice. Thank you.